all-new 2023 Acura Integra. Now, I know a lot of people in the enthusiast community are upset that this car has 4 doors. And admittedly, I was one of them. When I first saw photos, I was like, why are we creating another TL? You know, why are we creating another Acura 4-door sedan? But my mind's been opened a little bit. I mean, I still would love to see a coupe version, but the reason that they chose to do 5 doors is because the first Integra ever made was a 5-door hatchback. So when they brought it back in 2023, they brought back a 5-door hatchback. I think the car looks good. I'm a fan of the kind of fastback look. It does decrease some of the headroom in the back, but like I'm 5'11" and my head like brushes the top. If I sit up straight, it presses the top. When I sit comfortably, my head just kind of lightly brushes the roof. So you still have plenty of headroom. Now, while the headroom in the back seat is a little close, the legroom is unmatched. I mean, it has best in its class legroom. Again, 5'11", I have long legs. I am nowhere near the back of my seat when I'm driving. Nowhere near it. Now, the front of the car, I will say, looks very much just like a modern Acura, but the back of the car is where I start seeing some of those old Integra throwbacks, right? So, for example, we've got like the longer one-piece taillights. They also purposely put the latch to open the hatch. It's in the same place as our classic Integra, as our old Integra. Kind of the same look to it. They did also emboss Integra on the front and rear bumpers. That's a throwback to the Gen 3, so I like that as well. Of course, when we come to the inside, it's a whole new car. It's a modern car. So this car is the A-Spec with the technology package. This is fully loaded. MSRP is right about $36,000 on this. This car does have the manual transmission, the 6-speed manual, and you do have to get the A-Spec and technology package, that highest trim level, in order to get the manual transmission. That being said, that's the options I would choose in this car. I would not choose to buy the $30,000 version of this car that doesn't have the packages. I 100% would choose, even if the manual was an option on the $30,000 car, I would choose this one. I love the electronic gauge display on this car as well. Between our gauges, we've got a little diagram that has an Integra on it, and that Integra shows what you're doing. So when you brake or you turn on your turn signal, that little Integra, the brake lights come on or its turn signal starts flashing. This car does come standard with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but with the technology package, we do get wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, as well as built-in Alexa. Now, the sound system in this car is amazing. We've got 16 speakers, including some in the headliner above me, that give you just this excellent surround sound experience, and I've really been enjoying my music here on this drive. This 10.6-inch display screen is touchscreen. Now, I actually really like that it's touchscreen. So with the touchscreen, it's simple, right? You click and that's where you want to go. You click what you want. And so I like that. I like the simpleness of it. I like that it's easy. It's easy to see. It's up here, popped out of the dashboard, easy to see while you're driving, easy to switch between screens, easy to control. This car does also have a heads-up display that comes with the technology package. Now, the sound system in this car is fantastic. This car has a 16-speaker sound system. There's a subwoofer in the trunk. There's speakers in the roof above you. So what we end up getting is a wonderful surround sound experience. Speaking of the roof above me, in case you can't tell from the light coming from up here, we do have a sunroof as well. This unit I'm testing, as you can see, has the red interior. This is an A-Spec specific interior color. In the back seat, we have red leather, which is fantastic for when your kids spill something sticky on the seats. It's easy to clean up. In the front seat, we have suede seats trimmed with leather. What I love about the suede is when it's hot in the summer, I mean, we're in Texas right now, it's 94 and humid, it was 97 yesterday. You're not gonna find yourself sitting in a pool of your own sweat, which tends to happen in leather seats. Gross, I know, but it's true. You can actually wear your shorts, wear your skirt in the car, and not have to worry about sticking to the seats. Now, I do wish the seats were cooled, but they are at least heated for the winter to help keep you warm. Of course, we've got all the general safety things. I'm gonna kind of blaze over that. I know y'all aren't as interested in that. So we do have the blind spot monitoring, we've got the front crash test, we've got pedestrian detection, rear cross traffic detection, parking sensors, all that fun stuff. While I love the lane keep assist, I think it works very well in this car, I am not a huge fan of the lane departure warning. When you don't have lane keep assist on and you drift towards one side of the lane, the steering wheel, instead of just trying to tweak you back into the lane, it vibrates back and forth, and it's a little much. I do like that you can turn on the lane keep assist without having any sort of cruise control on. So right now I have full control of the pedals, but I do have it helping me with the steering. So we're making right about 200 horsepower out of a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and it honestly feels a little bit more than 200. It feels like more than 200. The car is pretty peppy. I mean, no, it's not, you know, a rocket ship. It's not the fastest car you've ever driven, but it is decently peppy. It's got good torque to it. So we've got a little bit of that short shifter feel to it, which I really like. I'm also a fan of the auto Rev Match feature. I personally actually am terrible at heel towing on the road because I learned heel towing on a racetrack. I can only heel tow when I'm threshold braking, and you don't necessarily want to be threshold braking in traffic. So I do actually use auto Rev Match on the road because it's just more convenient. And this car Rev matches very well. It feels good in the corners. It does have active suspension, so I really should say active dampening. So we've got comfort mode, normal mode, and sport mode. And in sport mode, everything is just stiffened up a little bit. Feels really good. I'm a fan. Comfort mode, you know, if you're commuting, because ultimately, like, this car can still be used for commuting. It's still very comfortable. So that's, you know, kind of what comfort mode's there for. It quiets down, you know, you get less engine noise in the driver compartment. You've got a little bit of softer suspension. Now, as we're talking about drive modes, before I go and throw it into sport for a little bit here, the drive modes are customizable as well, so you can create your own individual drive mode. When we go to this setting, we can actually customize how we want the engine, steering, suspension, idle stop, and gauges to work, right? So we can choose to enable or disable the idle stop. And then we've got comfort, normal, and sport settings on everything else. So do we want a lot of power, but, you know, the sport power, but we want to keep that comfortable suspension? Do we want the stiff steering, but maybe less power, you know? So you can choose how you like to drive your car and create your own individual setting to go with that. The brakes feel great as well. It has very good brake feel. The pedals got great stiffness to it. It's, you know, responsive. The steering's responsive. So I honestly really enjoy driving this car. Whether you are getting this so you can have a fun car to cruise around in the mountains on weekends, or maybe you're just hopping on an on-ramp to a highway, taking your kids to soccer practice, it feels comfortable in corners. Even in sport mode, it's not one of those cars where you hit a bump and you feel like the car's trying to kill you. You hit a bump and you feel like you might lose control of the car. It's very comfortable. It takes bumps well, even mid-corner. It takes corners very well. It feels very controlled and at home when in a corner. So this car I'm driving right now has the 6-speed manual transmission, but they do offer a CVT automatic transmission in the Integra as well. I did get the chance to drive the CVT, and it gives the car a very different feel. If you are purchasing an Integra to have that option to toss it around in the mountains on the weekend, if you do like that sporty feel, the CVT version of this car lacks that a little bit. It feels a little bit more plain, a little bit more of just a grocery getter. That being said, it still is peppy. The transmission being a CVT, you don't even feel the shifts. I mean, if your passenger wasn't looking, if you couldn't hear the car shifting, you wouldn't know the car was shifting. It's incredibly smooth. Interestingly enough, the steering in the automatic also felt a good bit heavier than the steering in the manual. I like the steering feel in the manual just a little bit more. It was almost a little too heavy in the automatic, and this is of course in sport mode, but you can dial back the heaviness of the steering by just driving in normal mode or in comfort mode. Really, the automatic car would be a perfect option for commuting. It's comfortable, it's quiet, you don't have to worry about that leg workout you get in a manual, and you still get all of the practicality and all of the coolness of the Integra. You do also get a little bit of better gas mileage with the automatic car, about 33 combined mpg, whereas with the manual you're getting right about 30. Really what you're missing in the automatic is the spirit of the car. This is supposed to be a sporty yet practical car, and with the automatic it feels like we're just going back to a practical car. And don't get me wrong, the automatic still has plenty of power, but going from the manual back to the automatic is a pretty drastic difference. The car also has best in its class storage space by a landslide. And the reason this car has such great storage space is because it's not a sedan, it's a hatchback. So we open that back hatch, you fold down the back seats, and you can fit a bike in the back of this car. You could camp in the back of this car. I'm not even joking. You can lay down back here, throw out a sleeping bag. Like, it's amazing. Overall, I really like this car, honestly. If you're a car enthusiast and you're looking to get something solely for the purpose of taking it to the racetrack or throwing it around on mountain roads, Civic Si is the way to go. Civic Si has similar power to this, but it's a lot more bare bones. It's the teenager and this is your professional adult. But if you're looking for something that is comfortable, that you can tote your family around in, that's practical, that you can take to the grocery store, that's comfortable to commute to and from work, but that also gives you a little bit of that fun factor and a lot of that 90s nostalgia, this is the car.